What is up, guys? The LA Gamer here, and today I am bringing you guys episode 10 of my St. Louis Rams rebuild series. I guess it's basically the Los Angeles Rams rebuild series at this point, but in the last episode we did actually do our offseason moves, got a little bit of an idea of how our team is doing in terms of our natural just ability to play games, I guess, offensively and defensively. I think we made a couple moves. I don't think we did a whole lot in the previous offseason. I don't quite remember exactly what went down. So real quick look at my roster right here. I think everything looks pretty nice if we're just kind of looking at it through and through. And I think that we should be a competitive team going into the next year. Now, it looks like we actually did lose James Lord-Nice. He always could have retired. So we got this rookie, Sean Riley, who's kind of been on the up and up. I'm pretty sure he did win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's got close to 8,000 XP here to work with. So let's make sure he is all good in that sense, because I want him to make sure that, I just want to make sure that he is developing the way that he should, so he can actually just continue to be a beast. And we're going to get him up to an 80 overall right there. So, yeah, he's definitely looking like a great player. So moving on, we are struggling, to say the least. Now, I honestly did not expect this series to last so many episodes. I expected it to be like 6 episodes. We can move through a few seasons. Boom, we're already a Super Bowl team. A lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So I'm definitely doing whatever I can to try to make sure that I'm the Super Bowl team here within the next few years, because it's been a little bit rough so far. The journey's been a little bit difficult, as you guys have probably noticed. I mean, we're about 5-6 seasons in. I mean, looking at 2019, okay, I guess we'd be about 5 seasons in. And, I mean, I figured we'd at least be competitive by this point. It just hasn't really worked out the way I had hoped, but I'm not really that worried about it. I think here within the next few seasons we can be a championship team. But if these next few seasons don't work out for us, I don't know if it'll be possible, because here in a few years we're going to miss out on a couple of guys who are getting a little bit up there in terms of age. I mean, we got McDonald, who I love, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's 29 now. He's aging a little bit. Ogletree's already in his late 20s, and he's real young in real life. Sean Riley, of course, is young because we drafted him, but Levy's now in his early 30s. We got Ronnie McLeod Jr., who's 30. Sean Smith, who's in his early 30s. Robert Quinn, who's in his 30s. Aaron Donald, who's now close to being in his 30s, and he was just a rookie a couple of years ago. Same with Fairley being in his early 30s. I mean, the list goes on and on, guys. I mean, I don't want to keep emphasizing this to you guys, but everybody on this team, even people who are young in real life, are old on this team because we've been going so long. Even Connor Simon is 27. Can you even believe that? How fast he has already gone old? I mean, he's already 27. So I don't even know, guys. I mean, if we don't get something going here soon, we're going to have to really hope we get lucky, because we don't have a ton of money to work with, and I've given some big contracts to a lot of guys. I really don't want to end this series before we win a Super Bowl, but there's some concerns lying there, I won't lie. But either way, let's just hop into this. I think everything's looking pretty good in terms of our team roster. I think at this point, though, what's really going to do it is if our team just plays together, and if we can just play natural. I mean, I think on paper our team should be good enough to at least make a run for the Super Bowl. So the fact that we haven't been in the playoffs in these 5 years, I'm either going to blame just our team chemistry, or I'm going to blame Madden's simulation skills, because I really don't believe that our team, on paper and how the way I've set it up, I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to like bash the game or anything, because I do love Madden. I think I do a great job, but I think by most standards I've done a pretty nice job here and conducting a pretty nice series of guys to create a team. I just don't feel like I deserve to be out of the playoffs for 5 years, so to speak. So hopefully here within the next couple of years something changes, something just kind of knocks in that simulation. I'm hoping Connor Simon can hopefully end up being the next big deal. I know I was really happy when we drafted him, because he was the number 2 player of that draft. 4 years, nothing necessarily incredible has come out of him, which is something a little bit disappointing to talk about, because we expected so much out of him coming in. But he has been plagued by a few injuries here and there, and he hasn't necessarily been the most incredible player, even in the time that he has been starting. So hopefully here, this could be the season where he kind of leads the team. I'm going to give him the actual starting nod over Garrett, who's been performing very inconsistently. That rookie year where he had to step in for Simon, he did a pretty nice job. And then the year after that wasn't that spectacular. So let's take a quick look at the stats of Simon and Garrett, so we can get a pretty good idea as to how these guys have been over their what would that be? The tenure? Just something like that. Over their years as a Ram. That's a much better way of saying it. Whatever. So yeah, let's get an idea of that, so we have a better idea as to statistically who has been more consistent, or who has been the better option. I wish there was a way I could see their actual record as a quarterback, like their the amount of games they've won and lost. Because realistically, I'm not here to see good stats. I'm here to see wins. And yeah, rookie year, Connor Simon struggled a little bit. He bounced back to have a great year, then had another bad year, then bounced back to have a decent year. I mean, he's never passed. I mean, this was his best year, and it was only 3,430 yards. So needless to say, he's a very conservative quarterback. I need this guy to at least pass for 30 touchdowns, and that would shatter his career high. So it's definitely, I have some high expectations for him. I'm not gonna lie and pretend like I don't, because the truth is, I really need him to step up and perform and lead this offense the way that he should. Tavon Austin takes a load of carries out of the backfield and does a lot in terms of getting touchdowns and stuff. So Tavon Austin does his job. I just need the quarterback to do theirs. Chris Gary here out of Ohio State is actually doing a lot better than Connor Simon, it appears. Consistent also, 16 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. This year, 16 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He's a pretty nice quarterback, I'm not going to lie. So, I mean, Garrett is still in the possibility just because of those stats I just saw. I'm not gonna make a full-blown decision that he won't have a chance to earn a starting spot. I hate to be that type of owner, and I hate to be that type of manager where you just kind of switch out quarterbacks. But I think if Simon doesn't perform the way that we had hoped he would since we drafted him, we could always just trade him and get another nice player that could actually mean something to the team. I'm saying that in the nicest way possible, but I mean, realistically, Simon's got to step it up, because when you spend when you have such high expectations for a quarterback and they don't really meet any of them, it's a little bit upsetting. So last year, or the last time I simmed a year, we went week by week, and I felt like that was a lot better. I felt like it gave me a much better opportunity to give an in-depth analysis as to how we're going to readjust our lineup week by week, and how I was going to readjust my play style week by week, and how I was going to do all that stuff. So I think it's much better if I do that and continue to do that week by week type of simulation. So right here, we actually do win our first game of the season against the San Francisco 49ers, and what appears to be a little bit of a shootout. Actually a Monday Night Football game. We managed to come out of the game 37-31. Needless to say, a high-scoring game. What does that say? Total of 500 yards gained? Is that what I just said? It is. They got 406 yards. We got 500. There's no way this wasn't an overtime game. That's just crazy. So Connor Simon had a pretty nice day. 380 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So hopefully he's taking the things I said about him needing to step it up into consideration. He's going to finally do so. So right here we got a pretty nice game out of Tavon Austin. I mean, an alright game. 3.5 yards average is not that great, but he did alright. And then receiving wise, Martavis Bryant completely burnt us. I remember last year he burnt us all the time too. So that's not very good news that we can't shut down the passing game like we'd want to. But Cesar Griffin's doing a great job. Murray Cooper's doing a great job. And same goes to Allen Hurns in terms of that first week performance, or first game performance. So I'm happy about that. Next week's gonna be real important too, as it appears. Yeah, we're playing the Seahawks. So we're actually starting off the season with a bang, where we need our first 2 weeks to go well, because those are gonna be the most important weeks of the season probably. So it's gonna start off really, really important. So hopefully, Seahawks, who actually managed to lose their first game, hopefully they can come out here and lose their second one as well, so we can start off 2-0. So let's see. If we do actually make the playoffs, I'm gonna stop the simulation, or stop the video once we make the playoffs, because I want the playoffs to be its own episode within itself, because we haven't made the playoffs yet, and I feel like it deserves its own episode at this point, because it's been so sought after. And for all we know, if we win the Super Bowl, that's going to be the end of the series. I'm not going to lie. Once we win the Super Bowl, the series is over. My intention was to try to go through multiple different teams this year in this Madden 16 game, but the Rams have taken so long, there might be only a few more teams we can do till the next Madden comes out, honestly. So this game, another relatively high-scoring game, 34-28. I would say that's pretty high-scoring. Sadly, we were on the losing end of this one. That's a little bit rough. I mean, we still got pretty nice yardage. Let's see. Connor Simon, he's got a little bit of blame. 3 interceptions is a little bit pathetic. But I do like the fact that he's playing a little bit more aggressively. Allen Hurns did a phenomenal job. Oh my goodness, another great game out of him. Another good game out of Cesar Griffin. And not that great of a game out of Cooper or Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin, he didn't do great running or receiving the ball. And then Sean Riley's leading the team in tackles. Nothing new there. That guy honestly is like the next great middle linebacker to come into the league. Of course, there's Kuechly, there's Bobby Wagner, and now we got this guy. What was his name again? Whatever. He's on our team either way, and he's a phenomenal middle linebacker. He's like always getting all the tackles. Remember, last year he was not only the defensive rookie of the year for his conference, but he was also top 3, top 4 in defensive player of the year for the NFC. So the dude knows how to be a dominant middle linebacker. He knows how to play defense without a doubt. So I'm definitely excited to have him on our team. I think that was probably the best draft pick I can think of that we've made throughout this whole entire series. Typically, I would want to say Connor Simon was our best draft pick, but although he's got a great overall, Connor Simon has not performed the way I'd hoped he would. and we ended up losing that last week's performance as well. So that game 30-24, I mean, we'll look in depth on how that game, how we lost it. But every single other team in our division is 2-1, so we kind of dropped behind there. Either way, though, I don't really know how we lost this game, considering how we shut down their quarterback. Adrian Hart, I mean, he got good yardage, 317, but 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. We should never lose a game like that. Rushing-wise, Tavon Austin, I mean, we forced a fumble, too. Like, how are we losing these games? This is a little bit embarrassing at this point. Tavon Austin came out here, did a great job receiving-wise, which is funny because he's our running back. But so did Amari Cooper. He finally came out here and had a pretty nice game receiving-wise, but I just don't see where we struggled here enough to lose the game. The Redskins have a good team, though. They do have Brandon Cooks, Jordan Reed, Odell. I mean, that receiving core is so beyond stacked. It's not even funny. But there's just so much work that needs to be done. The next 2 weeks will also be against NFC East opponents. We got the Eagles and Giants coming up. So we'll see how we do there. The Eagles here are 3-0, so we're going to need to come out here and perform if we want to get a win. But I just don't know, guys. I'm getting a little bit upset with how the simulation's been going. So I don't think the way that we've drafted our team and the way that we've kind of rebuilt it, I don't think the fact that we're doing so bad should be the case, if that makes sense. I know I addressed this earlier. Just it's constantly like reiterated that we're not performing the way we should. So we're actually going to beat the 3-0 Eagles, 31-21. I feel like sometimes our team steps up against the better competition, which I think is a little bit interesting. So 31-21. Let's see how exactly that game went. We limited them to 194 total yards. I saw that right there. 194 total offensive yards. We got 471. So, I mean, how is that game even within 10 points? We almost we did more than double their yardage. So we should be destroying these teams. But it just goes to show that something about our team is not clicking right. And I don't know what it is. I mean, we're getting a lot of yardage. We're outbeating teams in yardage and turnover differential, but somehow we're still coming out here and barely winning games or losing games. I don't understand how. It's right here. Allen Hurns actually comes out, gets 2 receiving touchdowns, both receiving touchdowns of the game for our team. So, needless to say, Allen Hurns has been kind of the man this year in terms of our receiving game, and Amari Cooper really hasn't been quite as phenomenal as we were hoping he would be. But then, what's his name? The number 3, Cedric Griffin, the number 3 receiver we have on our team. He's a pretty nice receiver as well. I mean, he's never really panned out the way I hoped he would, because we did actually, I think, spend the number 1 overall pick on him. But that's alright. I never really expected him to be a total beast. But it's whatever. Let's just continue to move on here. I think here pretty soon, I might just sim multiple weeks at a time, because we are kind of going a little bit slow. But either way, we're going to come out here and win that game as well. And it looks like, what the heck is up with our receiving core? Why is there nobody here? Did everybody get injured? Cooper is injured, and Griffin is injured. So we lost 2 of our top wide receivers here in that last game. What happened to them? Let's see. Griffin's out for 2 weeks. Cooper's out for 4 weeks. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a tough couple of weeks here without those guys. We did win that game 34-16 though. And that's a pretty nice performance from our defense. I want to reiterate something I've been talking about for a while, is that cough is just lingering for me. So if I'm coughing here during this commentary, I do apologize in advance. Nothing I can really do about it, just a natural cough. Either way, here we are going to walk out of here with a pretty nice game. Connor Sutton had a phenomenal game, one of the best games of his career, at least one I can think of in recent memory. He's going to throw for 4 touchdowns, only get 1 interception, and nearly 300 yards and over 100 pass rating. So a phenomenal job from him. Rushing wise, Tavon Austin could have done better, but the 5-yard average is phenomenal, and we actually got their rookie running back to fumble, so that's a good job. Receiving wise, Allen Hurns came out here, did exactly what we wanted them to do, got 2 receiving touchdowns, with the loss of guys like Amari Cooper and Cedric Griffin, and for Allen Hurns to remain a big, vital part of this offense while the whole defense needs a target on him. That just goes to show how big of a player he really is. And then on the defensive end of the ball, let's see, where is that guy? Our rookie middle linebacker didn't really do much, unless he's injured. Might just be injured. It's starting to seem like our whole team is injured nowadays. I don't really know what's going on there. A lot of these young guys that are supposed to be real healthy are just, they're jumping like flies out here. So let's see. Offensively, the wide receiver injuries are the primary issue. Defensively, let's see, where are the issues? No, Sean Riley's still playing. No real notable injuries on the defensive end of the ball. We do actually probably want to sign some receivers, however, because we just lost 2 of them for a couple of weeks. So we'll sign 1 more receiver if there's any nice ones in the free agency. And it appears, okay, I like Jerome Brown. Look at Jerome Brown. I like Victor Cruz as well. let's get Victor Cruz, a little bit more experience. I wouldn't mind a little bit of salsa dancing, so we'll get him. And even if, I mean, he'll at least be a decent player for these next like 4 weeks or so while we have to deal with Caesar Griffin and Amari Cooper. Hopefully he can do I mean, nothing crazy, just get maybe about 60 yards a game, 60 receiving yards a game. I will be absolutely content with that. So we're going to continue here, sim this game against the Falcons. Once again, I mean, these are important games, all NFC conference games. So, I mean, they're all conference games, all of which are of course, very important. And we're going to do whatever we can just to come out here and get the win. And it looks like we are going to do just that with a 4-2 record. It appears our team is better without Amari Cooper or Caesar Griffin. I hate to say such blasphemy, but it's starting to appear that that is the case. I don't know what it is, but something about our team is starting to click. Ronnie McLeod has appeared to have just dropped out with an injury, as we have this little backup here actually getting the starting spot. And we actually walked out of there. Don't upgrade the XP sliders, I don't know, I just did there. We actually got out here. I got a 4-point victory against the Falcons. Not the most dominant win, not really a win you want to talk about, not one that is definitely a big turning point in the season, but it's definitely good news that we're on this 3-game winning streak. This is exactly what I have been waiting for. When you think about it, I've just been waiting nonstop for us to finally be a playoff team. Is we're gonna throw for over 500, but get a total of over 500 yards, throw for over 400. Oh my goodness! I mean, Simon total for 375 of them. Chris Garrett actually came here in the game and threw for 33. Connor Simon's touchdown to interception differential was not that great, but he definitely worked the ball downfield. Gave guys like Tavon Austin, who actually barely even ran the ball, but Rashad Kelly, who fumbled twice, which is something to talk about because that's absolutely embarrassing. Chances to get good touches in the end zone. So as you see, he actually did get a touchdown. On the receiving end of the ball, they have Demaryius Thomas, who completely destroyed us. Like we mentioned before, one of the biggest issues about our team is the fact that we can't really stop a #1 receiver quite the way I'd hope we would. Sean Smith was the guy I brought in to hopefully be the guy who could shut down those #1 receivers, but obviously he's not doing his job the way I had hoped he would, because he's just giving up huge yardage week in and week out to some of these great receivers. And then Allen Hurns here, totaling 100 yards, or breaking the 100-yard echelon once again. I think that's something to really just kind of highlight. It's just how great of a player that Allen Hurns has been for me. So I'm just going to sim about 3 weeks at a time from this point on. I'm going to actually, we'll sim one more week, just week by week. So I want to see how this game against the Seahawks goes, because this will be one of the most important weeks of the season once again. Because the Seahawks are always the team we're competing with when we're talking about trying to win the division for this NFC conf, or trying to win the division here. It's always the Seahawks who appear to win the division. So if we can beat them here and tie out and even out this season series, that would be just completely vital to our playoff hopes. And we're not going to do that. So that 3-game winning streak just did not give us the amount of momentum we needed to come into Seattle and win that game. I don't even know if that was home or away. I'm just assuming it was away. It was, no, it was home. We lost at home to Seattle now, so this is just embarrassing on all sorts of levels. They completely shut down our offense. I only threw for 139 yards. Rushing wise, only ran for about a total of 60. Receiving wise, even man, Allen Hurns he wasn't even noticed. 11 total receiving yards. That boy disappeared in that game. So that's a little bit disappointing, because that was a really important game, like I emphasized. But right here, we'll sim to week 12. What I'll do is I will. Oh no, I don't want to play the game. Come on, man. You should know what I want to do. So we're gonna back out of this. What I'm going to do is actually click like I'm going to sim to playoffs, and then just cancel it about halfway through so we can sim to 12. So you just go like this, and once it says it's simulating week 11 or so, or once it's saying it's simulating week 12, I'll press circle and have it simulate that, and then by that point we can always just kind of see how these next 4 weeks go. Basically, I'm only doing this because we're already 20 minutes in the video, and I want to kind of speed it up a little bit, because if we continue this pace, this video is going to be about 3 years long, and I don't really want that. So here we are. I mean, you guys know the simulation screens go a little bit too slow to me. I feel like, I just don't know, I feel like it shouldn't take this long just to simulate it week by week. It just takes a very, very long time. And like right there, I even just yawned. It gets me tired. It physically gets me tired looking at these simulation screens, because it takes so much time. It literally is so slow. And I can't really speed it up, because I am playing on cloud franchises. It just takes such a long time, and I think it's just something about how the game was constructed that causes this issue. But whatever, that's really none of my business. I'm not even gonna worry about it. Um, but here we are. We're almost there. Just one more week. You guys, you can do it, game. Just push. One more week. There we go. I'm gonna press circle now, and it's gonna finish up this week 12 sim. And here we are. Once I can actually see what's going on. Nope, I can't. Okay, the thing is, due page is glitched out. I can't even see what's going on there. Just come off beating the Patriots. That's good news. I don't know if the Patriots are still a dominant team. Tom Brady is likely retired. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we got blew out by the Cowboys next week. We already didn't get blown out, but we gave it 41 points. We absolutely destroyed the 49ers 48-17. Had a pretty close win against the Patriots there, and a pretty nice win there against the Bills, but 48-17 victory against the 49ers. That 3-game win streak definitely helps. It feels like our team is very streaky. We'll lose a few games in a row, then we'll win a few games in a row. As we destroyed Chris Wolf here. I mean, look at that pass rating, 28.9. That's just absolutely embarrassing. Tavon Austin came out here with 130 yards, 3 touchdowns. Phenomenal job there. Let's see, what was his farthest run? 51, or no, as long as we're on 50 yards. The receiving wise, Allen Hurns did a phenomenal job. We finally did a pretty nice job on Martavis Bryant to kind of limit the amount of touches he gets. But once again, Allen Hurns gets more than 10 receptions, over 100 receiving yards. I mean, the guy is crazy. It's just a phenomenal receiver. I'm really glad we got him in the free agency a couple of years ago. But either way, another thing I want to look at is just how standings are looking like right now. We're 7-4. We're on pace to actually make the playoffs this year, guys. I know. I mean, I can't even believe it. Let's see what the NFC is looking like. Let's see how it's shaping up. We got the East, South, and West, and then the North. East, South, West, and North. So we are competing with. I believe there are, now that I think about it, like 6 total teams that go to the playoffs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are competing with the Saints and Redskins primarily for the playoff spot. So, or at least for the wild card spot. I'm kind of doubting that we're going to get the division win because we lost the Seahawks both times, and they're already a game ahead of us. So we got to expect us to finish off extremely strong, and expect them to finish off really bad. So let's just sim to playoffs. We're so far in the season now that I can't do any trades. I'm not going to switch around the lineup at this point. So let's just let things take their course naturally. And if we do have to make the playoffs, I will be ecstatic because I've been waiting 5 years for this moment. 5 end-game years. I haven't been waiting 5 years in real life for this moment. But, I mean, you guys know what I mean. I'm just excited, okay? So I'm really excited. I mean, here we go. The simulation screen appears to be going a little bit faster as well. I'm a little bit nervous though. I mean, because we missed the playoffs this year as well. It's almost kind of like a letdown to me, because I feel like it's almost kind of a letdown to you guys because I'm constantly missing these playoffs, and it's a little bit of an embarrassment to say the least. I mean, it's just kind of like it's embarrassing that I'm struggling this much to rebuild these Rams. I don't know if that's an indictment on my ability to rebuild, or just another sign that the Rams need so much rebuilding that this is literally how much work is going to go into it. But it just really goes to show that even in video games, rebuilding a team isn't that easy. So just imagine in real life how tough it is for these GMs. I can only imagine how much stress that would put on somebody's life, where it's like your intention is to build a pretty shitty team, and then if you don't, you get fired. Like, that's a horrible situation to be in. But I guess that's part of the job description in real life in terms of trying to be a GM or an owner. So that's just a difficult situation all around, especially if you're not coaching on the best team. You just got to really hope you get that revolutionary rookie. But that's another thing, is I really wish Madden created revolutionary rookies. Now in 2K, every once in a while, maybe 1 in 15 draft classes, you will get a player that is like a 90 overall, immediately out of college. Why is that not a thing in Madden? I have no clue, because I think it'd be so great if you can get yourself a Randy Moss type of player. You can get yourself a Tom Brady type of player. Those players just don't come along, and they don't play like that, if that makes sense. I want a player that immediately makes a huge impact. And it just doesn't happen like that in this game. It's a little bit upsetting because if it did actually work out that way, you can make rebuilding a much better process and a much more enjoyable process for that matter. So we finished 10-6. Didn't finish off the season exactly like I hoped. We finished off 3-2, which isn't necessarily that bad. As we destroyed the Dolphins, kind of crushed on the Cardinals, and did a pretty good job against the Bears. But the Cardinals beat us the second time around, and the Jets just kind of scraped out a victory against us, which is a little bit disappointing. But either way, 10-6. I'm gonna pray right here and just hope to God we made the playoffs. We're about to find out right here, and we did. We made the playoffs against the Eagles, who we actually beat earlier in the season when they were 3-0. If you guys remember that. So we made the playoffs, guys. Here's the first time now. The playoffs themselves are going to be a whole episode to themselves, probably. I mean, I might add free agency if we get eliminated in the first round. But if we can get a good playoff run, which I am praying to God that we do. That would be just we'll make a whole playoff video just on that. If we make the Super Bowl, I will be playing the Super Bowl game, and I won't be playing any other game because I wanted so we make the Super Bowl legitly. I wanted to be like we actually rebuild the team, so it was good enough to win on its own terms, not with me having to edit the way the teams play. You know what I mean? So either way, that will be the end of this video. I'm just super excited we made the playoffs. I hope you guys are too. If you guys enjoyed, please click the like button below. Make sure to comment your opinion of this series and what I can do to make it more interesting in the comment section below. And make sure to subscribe if you have not already to stay tuned to this series and other series that got going on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. And something I didn't even say, I totally forgot because I haven't said it yet in this series. But I have said it in some of my other series, just in case this is the only series you guys watch. Thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. I will never forget these moments.